don't have to eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Well, welcome everyone, and what a great morning. Whoa. Oh man, I'm so happy to see Yolanda. I get right out of the bed and there you are. Yolanda, welcome. Good morning to you also from Dearborn, Michigan. Thank you very much for being here. Oh man, and the wonderful Renee is in the house. Renee Johnson is here. It's so great seeing you. Thank you for tuning in from Detroit by way of McIntosh, Alabama. Okay, that sounds good. And we have the wonderful nurse Shirley Gentle Smart in the house. Good morning to you. It's so great to see you. And I'm sure you're coming in from your jet. We appreciate you flying in. I'm just kidding. Always great to see you all. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see how we doing over here. We're going to, settle down a little bit. Sometimes the mornings are really exciting, and but we're learning how to be cool under little stressful situations sometimes, and we're doing really good, really good. So welcome everybody, welcome. And I would love to get it started. If you would like to get on stage and later you feel it in you, you're like, let's come on up because we're right on the door of what are we looking at now? We're looking at 2024. And 2024, it just means that this is about newness, the start of new things, and this is going to be really good. We're talking today about some of the home remedies and the natural antibiotics, and we're going to go over what they are and why are they natural and all that good stuff. But before we go another further, we're going to go ahead and bring up the wonderful Carolyn Gentle. Yeah, let's bring her on, y'all. Carolyn, come on up. Yeah. Woo!
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Great, going great. Hello, everyone. I see Yolanda here early. Woo! And ready. Renee here. Thank you so much. Shirley. Woo! Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I am Carolyn Gentle. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. Please don't forget to share the live. Share the live. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, and I don't think we're live on Instagram yet. Dr. Zarif, did you hit go live on Instagram?
Yes, at least I thought I did. I mean, I did, but I don't, it, when I came back, it had me on pages.
Okay. I don't see you live on Instagram, but that, I don't know if that's something you want to do, but yeah.
I'm going to figure this out. I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. We might have to take a break or something. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, it's really great seeing you all. I'm going to see. Here we go. I'm going to see if I can do this first. Everybody, what's on your mind today? What are some of the things that you want to do this coming year? These are some of the things that we may be able to talk about as we continue to have this really wonderful talk today. And today is going to be beautiful because it's after the rain. Did it rain where you are? Woo, I was in Reseda yesterday, and I mean, it was throwing down. You couldn't even see it in front of you, but it only happened for a few seconds, so it's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For me, what's on my mind is as you can see this beautiful bow. I've got Christmas on my mind right now. Just in the Christmas spirit, giving a little Christmas cheer here on the Mind of Nature.
That is so cute. That's great. Well, you can definitely get away with that. That looks really great. I love it. You know, that's what we're supposed to do, though. We're supposed to celebrate. Let me see. I think I got it now. Let me see here. And okay. So Carolyn, why don't you talk to the people for a few seconds while I am doing this, and I think we're gonna be okay.
All right. Well, as Dr. Zarif mentioned earlier, the topic is home remedies and natural antibiotics. Now, as far as home remedies go, if you have any kind of home remedies for any illness, any kind of sickness, drop it in the comments. I would love to hear what other people use as home remedies for certain, ailments and things like that. So I would really like to hear that because there's a lot out there, and I think it's always fun to hear what others may use when it comes to being ill. And I know there was a joke on that show, Everybody Hates Chris, where the dad would say, what do you say? Get some Robitussin or something like that.
Oh, the
I
robot
remember-
for everything.
yeah, it's for everything. So that was always funny to me. But I would like to hear from those tuning in, what are some home remedies that you incorporate whenever you are sick. So there we are with that. Again, please share the live out. That would be wonderful. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zari.
So, what is a natural antibiotic anyway? So, we look into that, and what are some of the home remedies? The home remedies are just things like we were talking about as far as the recipes. We're going to talk about, we'll go into a little bit of that, but I mean, there's some strange recipes. I mean, strange. So, some of those will be like, what in the world is this? But many of the recipes, believe it or not, is just based off of belief. I keep saying that people don't listen to me. I don't know, but we got more people. We got more people listening now because they're finding it out when they go in. Because people always like want to research. What did he say? What's this? Well, yeah, I'm glad that you're doing that because that's a really good habit instead of just jumping to conclusions. So congratulations with that. We also need to talk about some of the natural antibiotics. But first, let's talk about the natural antibiotics, which means that it's not made in a lab. So one of the methods that science has turned to slow the progression of an antibiotics resistance is the use of natural antibiotics alternatives. These are some of the alternatives which you usually hear when people are doing something outside of what we would do in the system. The system is allopathic, and allopathic just simply is the Western medicine practices. Now, Western medicine practices, as far as I see and know, it is one of the most incredible ways or a wonderful approach to medicine, a wonderful approach to, in some cases, curing certain situations. I mean, it's really incredible. The medications, although there are many, there are a lot. There's a lot of controversy about the medications, but if we would stop using medications today, right now, we would definitely have an incredible derogatory fallout in our population because many people are dependent on those medications to live. So many of the natural substances, they possess an inherent antimicrobial properties. This is the type of antibiotic that can be used in place of traditional antibiotics to act as an effective treatment for a variety of bacterial infections, allowing us to reserve the use of conventional antibiotics for more severe conditions. Many of these natural antibiotics are just simple plants. The plants, the oils, the vegetables, the herbs, they retain the natural ability to combat bacteria infection. Now I'll go over some of those infections with you, along with some more information to give you a clear indication of what we're talking about when I say bacteria infection. Sometimes you will say, you'll hear the bacteria also said as bacterium, but it's the same thing. Now, these are generally referred to as astringent foods. Astringent foods can attack harmful infections. Now, this is one of the reasons that we actually have a choice, or we live a certain lifestyle. And that when we have a choice to live in a certain lifestyle, we can reduce the risk of cancer, of the different types of infections and disease. And we can reduce many of the maladies that we face on a daily basis, the pain, the aching, and the soreness, the sweating, dizziness, or anything that would give us indication that there's some kind of imbalance. So the plants, fruits, oils, vegetables, and herbs, they've retained the natural ability to combat the bacterial infection. Now, these are generally referred to as astringent. And astringent foods, remember, they can attack harmful infections, causing harmful infection causing bacteria without harming the body's beneficial bacteria. Now, we have beneficial, like we have E. coli. You probably heard of that. E. coli, everybody has it in their body. Is just when we have too much of it, or we have other Shigella, Salmonella. We have those in our body, but it is when we overdo it, or we eat some kind of foods that will proliferate what is already there. Now, what are some of the best antibiotics? Well, that list is just extensive, but I'm going to just mention a few in here. Several people have used many of these antibiotics over the years, and they're just actually foods like honey. You have honey, garlic, pepper, oregano. You have cranberry extract, thyme, and clove. All of these are frequently used. These are the frequently used ones that demonstrate the ability to heal the infection. Now, I want to also name some of the other, and these are just the natural. Remember, we're not on prescribed yet. We'll talk a little bit about that. But as a general rule of thumb, the antibiotics should only be prescribed to treat bacterial infections that are unlikely to be healed by the body's natural immune system. Recent studies have shown that as much as 30% of prescribed antibiotics are unnecessary. I want you to hear that 30% of the prescribed antibiotics are unnecessary. So many people are taking medications that aren't necessary. So we can get to that later on, but to help combat resistance, and medical professionals are turning more frequently to these antibiotics to help aid the body's natural immune system in resolving infection, especially when you can augment what you're eating, augment whatever you're eating with some of the foods. And they're usually like, in your salads. They're in the seasonings. They're in the different types of vegetables. For instance, cilantro. Have you heard cilantro before? Now, that's a garnish to most people, but it's actually very healthy when you use it. The leaves are usually, on Thai dishes, Thai cuisine and Mexican cuisine. And you also will know cilantro from the seeds. The seeds are also called, when they crush those seeds up, that's coriander. And that coriander, now this is when you'll have those Indian curries. My favorite. I love it. I love all different types of food, but I love that. And yeah, I hear you, Renee. I love the fresh salsa and cilantro. Yes, cilantro, oh, so wonderful. And I also use it when I'm doing the tofu scramble. It's just really, really great. A few think of this plant as a medicinal herb, but research shows that it is a powerful digestive aid, and it may be capable of removing heavy metals and other toxic agents from your body. Cilantro grows best in cool, moist garden, and it will quickly bolt in hot water, or I shouldn't say hot water, but hot weather, because when you cook it, it actually maintains its flavor in fresh. There's a lot of the vegetables that you can cook and they change when you use them. I don't ever cook cilantro, but I make sure that I'll chop it up and I'll use it, and as I sprinkle it onto my salad, and I sprinkle it onto or into a drink. There's also another plant. It's called lemon balm. Now, we just talked about cilantro, but lemon balm, you should add this too. The oils, the tannins, the bitters in the fragrant leaves and flowers of lemon balm, they have a relaxing antispasmodic effect on the stomach and the nervous system. This is really important, especially for those of you that have that gurgling stomach from, day to day, or after you eat food or before you eat food. Sometimes you can you will hear the noises from your digestive system, or cramping. That can be another problem when you have all the griping. Now, it may help to fight off viruses also. This is lemon balm is so important, such as herpes simplex. Now, if you have herpes, you're going to be dealing with that most likely for the rest of your life. Sometimes it subsides, is not as intense, but herpes is very, we should pay attention to this particular virus because most people have it. There are many, many people that have gotten this, not just through sex, but through some of our other habits, such as, the dishware. I mean, if I would think about, like, some people say they get things from a toilet seat or a knob or something like that. I think that a lot of times I can hear that, but our oxygen kills a lot of those viruses and the bacteria. But what I can say is that our aerosol that comes from our mouth when we're talking, this is one of the things that we need to keep in mind, that particular aerosol carries a virus. For those that have any particular disease, it can be carried in that aerosol onto the person's food, their drink, in your mouth, your nose, your face. So when you get in all cozy, make sure it's someone that you've been around, and someone that is just like babies and mommies, they've been around. Mommy can have something and the baby doesn't get it, or the baby can have something and the mother doesn't get it, because we've built up tolerance for each other. But when you around strangers and you have people that have different, maladies, especially like if they have sores in their mouth, or they have mono or herpes and those kinds of things, you definitely want to use something to protect yourself. Lemon balm, give that look at lemon balm. Look, lemon balm is really, really powerful. There's a lot of other diseases that people they are functional disease carriers. So when you are around a lot of the public, don't get comfortable with not putting on your mask. Sometimes in situations, don't wait for a pandemic before you start taking care of yourself. If you go into a place where it's all crowded, you should always have like your mask where you throw that bad boy on. Because while you want to be cordial and you want to be kind to everybody and you don't want to look like you're not in the in crowd, well, there's that possibility of you contracting that mist, the aerosol. And with that sometimes comes sputum. So that sputum, like in your mucus and, the runny nose, and you have people that are, rubbing the nose and putting their hand in their mouth and then back in the hair and then on the nose and back in their mouth and all those things. They're really fast, like as people talking, you see them flip up the nose or their hand and go in their mouth and those kinds of things. So those are some of the things that we can think about. Mullein is, or Mullein, if, it depends on, but the pronunciation, but mullein is another wonderful plant. It has soothing properties that may heal the bronchial respiratory infections. Now, bronchial respiratory infections are huge today. I mean, they're really huge. And many people, hey, hi, Mom. Good morning. Juanita Kurosaki is here. And I really, really love her. Thank you for getting up with us. Brother Ron OJ from Detroit just popped in. Mercy. All right, brother. Go ahead and y'all go ahead and park the limousine over there on the side and grab a seat. I'm glad to see you. All right, man. Let's keep going. Mullein, when I see my people, boy, I love it. It's a beautiful thing. But the mullein, learn more about this because it is great for the bronchial respiratory infections. The leaves are commonly added to cough formulas. So if you can get this, and you'll see mullein, fresh mullein, usually at farmers market. But if you can get your hands on some, even in capsules, this is really, really good. It's one of those sturdy yellow flowered. It comes from that stem, and then it is dried. Usually, they can emerge within the rosette of a thick, hairy leaves, and it's a well. I wish I had a better. I wish I could show you a picture of it. This plant grows up to be about 6 feet tall. It's a very, very unique looking plant, and it's very powerful. There's another one called thyme. Now, thyme, THYME, and some people say thyme. This is something I use. There's another word. There's, the word apostle, and people say apostle. So there's some words that are just different when we are pronouncing them. So let's go to thyme. Thyme is a ground cover, actually. And it has delicate stems and tiny leaves that belie this tremendous power attributed to Europeans. This is back in the Middle Ages, and even today we continue to use that. And modern herbalists, they rely on this antibacterial and antiseptic properties of thyme. Thyme's oils, and the thyme's oils is what helps to prevent colds and flu. And then you have lavender. Now, all of this stuff, I want you to write it down so these should be in your kitchen. When we talk about thyme, mullein, when we talk about rosemary, spearmint, lemon balm, chamomile, all of these are very, very important part of what should be in your kitchen. Now, when it comes to some of the natural biotics also in your kitchen: oregano, cranberry, and then you have your honey, you have garlic and cloves. Now I know some people are like, honey, you don't supposed to eat. You know, I am not a vegan, you know, but I don't eat meat. And I think if you're going to trip on the meat situation, reduce. The thing that's important is there has been and there is knowledge and different studies that show when you overdo it with the meat, when you overdo it, you know, I mean, look, I'm not disappearing, you know, I'm not, I'm 185 pounds and I'm 6'2". And I'm not, as you see, I am, you know, I'm eating honey, or I might be eating some things that some vegans may not eat, but those are, again, remember, those are just lifestyles. So I don't like the abuse for animals to be abused either. But I know that in this life, there are so many things that are done that we're not even aware of. And we always say that we hate it. But if you don't do those things, for instance, pasteurization. What is pasteurization? Pasteurization is actually a way to keep bacteria from spreading and to control, to manage bacteria. Is bacteria management. So if we stop using pasteurization or flash pasteurization, we would see the difference, and many people would be sick so fast. It would be shocking, because we are dealing with millions of people, not just a classroom of 20 people. We're talking about millions. We're talking about hundreds of millions. We're talking about 330 million in America by itself. So we have to do that. When you don't do that, then what you do is you actually expand the chances of you contracting disease, contracting something that will definitely make a difference in your health. Demetrius, oh, hey D, how you doing? Demetrius Pullen is here. Good morning to you too. It's really, really great. Hey, you know, I've known Demetrius since she's been a little girl. It's really great to see you here. It's lovely when you see people that you've seen for years. Like we go all the way back to I mean, this, like, I've known, we've been youngster. If I get into that, we start getting into off subject, but every time I see people that we've been in each other's lives for so long, I am so thankful that you're here. Now back to this honey thing. The honey has been topically used for many centuries, and this is to help, and also just orally, even by itself, it helps to prevent infections, and it speeds the healing of wounds and surgical incisions. In addition, honey possesses solid antibacterial properties and natural healing compounds that combat bacteria, and it helps to reduce scarring. And that's really important. If you had an injury, do you know that the honey is used for that scarring? So ladies, those of you that got a little, you know, maybe a scratch or something, I'm laughing because I'm thinking only, I just think I just had an older thought, you know, like little girls where I come from used to fight all the time, and the ones with the most scratches were the scariest ones, the ones that could fight good. Oh boy, I'm having too much fun. Anyway, let's move on to clove oil. Now, clove oil is often used as a natural pain reliever. This is really important because a lot of us have pain, and you don't need to have fentanyl to get rid of it. There are so many other things that you can do that are natural that will keep you from making yourself sicker and dependent upon certain drugs. So The clove oil, hold on, please. Green tea. So the natural pain reliever is a natural pain reliever and an antibacterial agent to keep or to help ease the discomfort, like things like a toothache, any kind of those oral, like your gum swelling, a tooth aching, you can't chew on that side. And this helps to reduce that pain naturally. And usually those things in your mouth that are caused by bacteria, you have a wonderful choice now by using clove oil. Then you have oregano. Oil of oregano is absolutely wonderful. Oh, it's bitter as hell, but it is wonderful. And this is really good for you to take oil of oregano as you are. You don't wait until you get sick, but you can take just a little bit, a drop, or you can take just a little tip on a teaspoon, and you're going to have to chase it with something because yuck, it doesn't taste that well. Now, I've been doing it for a while, so I can play like it's okay. But if you just started using it, yeah, it's going to really challenge you. Oregano is often mixed with water or apple cider vinegar to be used as a topical disinfectant, mixed into boiling water, or you can have a commercial steamer that you can inhale it. And when you breathe it in, oregano can help to restore sinus infections. So those of you that have sinus problems and you have allergies, oil of oregano is actually just super wonderful. If you have one of those things, with the face thing, you've had the steam that goes in your face, I'm sure Carolyn will know what kind of, it's probably most ladies use the steam thing for your face, and that looks really good. But this will help you to resolve those sinus infections. Get it up in your nose, inhale, and just leave it in there, and then go for it again. Some people put like a towel over their head, and they keep all of that in, and they actually inhale as they go along. Really great. Having a great. Eileen Matthias is here. Good morning to you. It's so wonderful to see you. Eileen Matthias is one of the greatest fitness instructors in LA. She's been doing it a long time, and she's been helping people stay in shape for a long, long time. Malia is in the house. Oh, yeah. It's great to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always great to see you. I think you're still in Las Vegas or wherever you're moving around on. She's a jet setter. She's always moving around, and that's really good. But so glad to see you. So glad to see you. Let's move along to cranberry. You notice, especially a lot of women use this so they can avoid UTIs, or they might use it if they have a UTI to help to heal it, heal that particular malady. So cranberry extract is often used as an effective natural antibiotic treatment for urinary tract infections, of course. Also, if you have any kind of bladder problems or you have any urinary problems, I use cranberry extract because cranberry extract is so effective at treating these type of situations, especially your urinary tract infections. Now, this can help to reduce the need for some of those prescribed antibiotics, and that's what many women, more than you would probably imagine, really just don't want to just throw that in their body. They're really particular about, no, I don't want that in my body. No, if I can do something else, I don't want to do that. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, garlic has this wonderful, effective ingredient in it. It's called allicin. Sounds like Allison. It can also be a name. And like we have the famous Allison Gentle of the Allison, one of my favorite people. I love this brother. He is a really, really wonderful man. Carolyn's father. And I always like, I've given him a shout out. That's my dude right there, boy. He's beautiful. So Allison, inside of garlic contains a lot of other solid antibacterial compounds that have been proven to be effective for the antifungal and the antibacterial agents. You can use this garlic oil. Use the garlic oil. See if you can get your hand on some garlic oil. You can use it topically to treat fungal infections. Like, it does have an aroma, but many people have used, before there were sprays going between your toes for an athlete's foot, they actually use the garlic to go between your toes. Also, you can use, I'm moving from the foot to the mouth now, but I don't want you to do that. But some of the other things, like if you have for your mouth, just the garlic oil around your gums, around anywhere where you might think that you have bacteria infection, really good. In contrast, you can ingest garlic peels, and you can also have raw garlic. They work just as great, and they treat intestinal infections and other disruptions in the internal bacterial balance. You go back to Shigella, Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. You have many other, which you get as long as you get the idea, and address some of these side effects. I want to go back to the allergic reactions, because the allergic reactions are very important. If you know you're around like a certain type of carpet, or you have feathers and it's making you sneeze, those kind of things, well, you know, I mean, they can make anybody sneeze. But if you have an excessive sneezing and scratching, or you're getting swollen under the eyes, big bags under the eyes, or you can't talk hardly anymore, your throat is closing up, you know, like your trachea seems like it's shrinking, that's an allergic reaction. So you want to stop whatever you're doing, because that is causing this negative effect. But in the meanwhile, again, when we talk about what you can do to get that all up in your clove oil is excellent, oil of oregano is excellent, and the garlic oil is excellent. But that oil of oregano, I'm telling you, write that down, because that's super important, and this can help you and it can help your family. Now, I wanted to reshine on that honey. Now, honey is usually, some people, and I don't eat honey because honey is this, honey is that. The bees take it, and then they regurgitate, and they, you know, all of those things. If you only knew, if you're eating animals, you shouldn't even be talking about honey. You should, you know, pretty much just go ahead and take it in, because there's no irradiation, and there's no some of the other things they do to meats. I don't want to vilify it, because again, 97% of everybody in America is eating meat, period. That's just the way it goes. You know, I don't think it's going to stop soon. It's not even things. It's not, I know it's the whole sentient beings, and I understand all that, and I've heard it, and you know, but when it comes to taking care of yourself, again, stay in the mindset of not overeating, because that's what we do. We, instead of having just a little bit of it, we have too much. Again, we're fighting against the bacteria, some like mycobacteria, and that's MYCO. So, you know, I'm not saying Michael like in Michael Jackson. Building some bacterial bridges, and so that you'll be able to fight these microbes, are going to be very, very helpful as we continue to find out more and more about ourselves. Tuberculosis, and that is something that is a debilitating multi-organ disease caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And when you get this, what happens is that this disease is pulmonary. So it affects your breathing, especially your lower respiratory breathing. And guess what? Many people die from this disease because when it goes untreated, you can be very, very vulnerable. There's other things like microbial resistance, and we won't go into that today. But all of these things that you've heard, strep, or you've heard many of the other diseases. I'm avoiding that on purpose because I want to keep it simple. But just know when you're talking about bacteria are those microbes with cell structure simpler than that of many of organisms. Their control center containing the genetic information is contained in a single loop of DNA. Now, some of the bacteria have an extra circle of genetic material, and it's called plasmid rather than nucleus. I'll stop right there because it gets a little more complicated. It's not as simple. But just so you will know about bacteria, is classified into 5 groups according to their basic shapes. Now you have the spheric, or the spherical, or cocci, and the another one is called rod, or bacilli, or bacilli. You have spiral, and spiral is spirilla. You'll have another type of bacteria that's categorized as comma, or vibrious. And the last one is called corkscrew, or spirochelatus. And the spirochelatus, or corkscrew, is another category for bacteria. So it's not just single cells, or in pairs, or chains and clusters, and all of them. There's a mixture there, and there's bacteria. You probably heard streptococcus. You've heard of Clostridium, some Treponema, and I went over the Vibrio, Chlorea, and there's more of it. The Clostridium botulism that we'll find like in honey, especially when you. This is what a child faces when you give a child the honey too early. So make sure. I think it's up to the first 3 months. You do not feed your child honey because you definitely will risk their health. Okay, so I'm going to stop a little bit here, and this almost. Wow, did that go fast? Let's go ahead and hear from Carolyn. Come over and let's reset as we are in the Christmas spirit with the big, beautiful red bow. You look like a precious gift. And we really, really welcome those of you that like to leave some comments here. Go ahead and say what's on your mind. I'm going to look through this while Carolyn is talking to you. Take it away, Carolyn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. And thank you to everyone here. You're in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today's topic is home remedies and natural antibiotics. So thank you all so much for joining us today here. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook. Now, earlier today, I asked for you to drop some comments if you had any remedies, I should say, any remedies that you use. And I wanted to highlight some of them. So with Renee, you say you keep cod liver and castor oil on hand to take with you when you get the bubbles that won't go away. And let me see here. Also, I travel with wellness, garlic, cayenne pepper, and black seed oil tablets. Okay. Got them. You got them with you right now in Alabama. I hear you. And then Dr. Zarif mentioned earlier oil of oregano And you also put in here oil of oregano. So yes, I've taken oil of oregano as well, and it's really good for you. So I just wanted to highlight those things that Renee dropped in the comments. Again, thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. Dr. Zari, back to you.
All right, Carolyn, you give.
I'm sorry.
What's going on?
I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. I see you having fun. That's a big smile. Look, hey, no rain in Alabama. That's where we have that report coming in from the wonderful Renee. Renee, yeah, I'm really happy to hear that you're. See, that is really great. I love that idea. What you think, Carolyn? Isn't that a great idea to carry those things to keep yourself healthy while you're in motion, like traveling, for instance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think it's the worst when you have something going on and you're traveling and you can't get to what you're used to get to help you to get some relief, on the stomach or so. So absolutely. There is a question here too from Ron OJ. He says, Sensei, for pain in the knee and elbow, for knee and elbow pain, what was the name again? I could use for pain. There was something that you mentioned. You mentioned lemon balm. I don't know if that's what he may be asking about, but I know you mentioned lemon balm. Is that something that someone can use for pain?
Well, lemon balm was the one for that when we talk about herpes, the herpes simplex, that was that. But when it comes to pain, it's really important to have in your house. Like there's several things for pain. As a matter of fact, Ron OJ, thank you for that question. But because a lot of times pain is coming from tension, and it's coming from anxiety. Like when you calm yourself down, you can get really reduce the pain. But the lavender, I would say, lavender is so really wonderful because it is a mild antidepressant. Now, if you ever get in those moods like I do sometimes, it's a human thing. Sometimes, when you're feeling like, I just don't, something's wrong, I don't feel balanced. You know what I mean? You ever feel that, Carolyn?
Yes.
You just feel that. And it's like, what happens is that you're off balance, and that because we have all kinds of hormones constantly being secreted, and this is a part of our balance in our daily, whatever we're doing daily. But lavender is an antidepressant. So when you're feeling like yuck and you just want to say, I don't know what it is, but let me go ahead and address it with get you some tea, make you some lavender tea. Lavender is made with all kinds of things. I prefer it hot, but some people use it in lavender baked goods like cakes and cookies and so forth. They also use it in salads. They have lavender honey, lavender butter, lavender lemonade, and lavender shortbread cookies. All of these things, and lavender cake sounds great, like a nice slice while you have in your tea. Chamomile is another very important antibiotic. This is also good again for pain, Ron OJ, because it treats a lot of things. And I really want people, chamomile, most people just get it and say this will help you to relax, and it does. But it usually, the great thing about nature, or the great thing about these beautiful plants, is that they address a lot of situations. And like colic, that's what when we talk about chamomile, we talk about nervous stress from being nervous, or your sympathetic nervous system is too active, infections and stomach disorders. All of that is that's super important. Now, when it comes down to other things that we talked about, I think we looked at what was that? I think we went into like some of the pain reliever that we were talking about earlier was clove oil. Now, the clove oil, remember I was saying you can use it like in your mouth for, it's a natural pain reliever, but it's also good as a antibacterial agent when it comes to some of your hygiene, oral hygiene. So that's important too. So make sure you put that on your list too. So Rhino J, that is for you. And I'm really, really glad that you asked that question, because we deal with pain, and pain is something that is quite popular today. Okay, let's do a couple more here. I want you to know the difference between the herbs and other kinds of plants. The herbs are different from other woody plants. Now, woody plants have a thick woody stem, and the herbaceous plants have a thin, sensitive green stem. So you have the thick woody stem, and you have the thin, sensitive green stem. Different in color, different in sizes. The herbs are annual, biannual, perennial, and they cannot resist extreme environmental conditions, whereas the woody plants continue to develop throughout their lives. Herbaceous plants have a cellulose stems, and the cellulose stems would be, if you look at like my hand, and if you see all the lines there, well, the same thing is in a leaf. And those lines, these here, these different shapes on my hand and all that, when you look closer, it divides the hand up. Well, that's what it does for the leaves. Except on the leaf, these lines aren't like my skin. Those lines are cellulose. Now, when we eat that particular leaf, or we eat that salad, we're also eating cellulose. And the cellulose cannot be digested by the human digestive system. So it is very useful for our fiber. So there you have it. And that's why we have fiber. So keep that in mind as far as the difference between those things. I want to go back on your list. How you looking on your list? You should have parsley and mint and dill, basil, sage, rosemary, thyme, cilantro, fennel, bay leaves, lemongrass, and oregano. All this stuff, write it down, or come back and listen to this as you listen to it again, replay, and this will help you so much. I'm just going to go through this right fast, and you see we're getting ready to wrap it up real soon. If you have any other comments, let me see one over here, because time moves so fast for me. Yolanda, thank you so much for you always adding to the mix. Let me see. I don't have any remedies other than to get up and move something. That's good. I hear you. Yeah, I know. That's really wonderful. I'm sure you getting up and moving makes a big difference. And you notice, like, when I was born, my mother had to stay in the hospital a couple of days. That was just normal. And some women, they went home a little earlier. Some women, if they had difficulty having a child, they would stay, of course, in the hospital longer. But today, people are having children and they're home the next day. And now we have a lot of midwives that are busy delivering children right in the homes of some people are having it like that, having children like that naturally. Women are incredible. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. I don't want to imagine. I'm so happy to be a man, because that is some pain. When I hear people describe it, I'm like, oh, that hurts hearing it. It hurts hearing about it. But some women are, like from one person to another, it changes. And there it is. Let me see. Yolanda Rogers says, I take Bragg organic apple cider vinegar most days for the last 10 plus years. That means that's working. That's good. That's good. Excellent job. Yeah, I've used his products, and I don't know if I talked to him when there was some guys that's been around a long time, and through the years, I've been on shows with them. But this guy is just really, really incredible, and a lot of great products. Let me see here. We have Renee says that the old Indian wild cherry bark syrup has mullein, echinacea, and wild cherry bark. Yes, that is excellent. And this is really great, especially for this time of year. Have your little elixir that you can take a couple of teaspoons of that elixir while everybody is. As a matter of fact, if you go to a party or something like that, and you just like have your little elixir while you sipping it, while everybody else is throwing down the alcohol. This is let me see. Yes, Doc said whatever. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure I'm getting Eileen Matthias. Yay! Okay. All right, everybody. Let me see here. Let's go back to Care. Go ahead, Care. You look like you have something to say there.
Well, there was one thing that I am unmuted. Okay. You mentioned pasteurization, and there being a lot of people, in this world, pasteurization is needed. Can you explain that part of it, or what that means?
Yes. Pasteurization was found by Dr. Pasteur. And Dr. Pasteur, because he founded this particular process, the process was named after him, pasteurize or pasteurization. It is a way to manage bacteria, to kill the bacteria. As a matter of fact, there is a hot temperature that the food is brought under to pasteurize. For instance, in meat, they instead of using the heat, because they use heat, they would cook the meat, right? But they use what is called irradiation. So they irradiate the meat in order to kill the bacteria. Now, when you don't do that, then you can get hepatitis A. You can get a lot of other diseases from that bacteria on that meat. So the same thing happens with juices and ice cream and milk and dairy products and so forth. So that all of the different drinks, for instance, like the drinks that we have for hemp milk, you have almond milk, coconut milk, and so forth. Read it right there on the carton. It's all pasteurized, and it's pasteurized to reduce again the possibility of someone contracting too much bacteria in the wrong types of bacteria in the body, and those foodborne bacteria, or pathogens as it's called, and those pathogens can cause problems. So there you have it. Is heating. So when you think about pasteurized orange juice, Care, you
Yes.
want to you think about that as the orange juice being cooked. When you say pasteurized milk,
Right.
you think about that milk and the milk being cooked, and then they actually refrigerate it. But
Okay.
the process is you cook it first. There's a lot of wines and other healthy drinks that are called flash pasteurized. So flash pasteurization is what they do to the different types of fruit juices, and you will see that in vegetable juices. You got naked juice and those other types of juices that are available, and they'll say fresh squeeze, but they're fresh squeezed, but they are pasteurized too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. I know that. Excuse me. We've been talking about Manuka. These are just some of the and antibacterial foods, since we're talking about the bacteria. echinacea, this is one that Renee brought up, which is really great. And echinacea is good for a lot of things, but it's usually in combination with golden seal root, and it works very good with golden seal root, especially when it comes to lung, bronchial, flus, the flu, colds, so forth. Manuka honey is one that's trending now. Manuka honey has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. That's why they're really pushing this now. It's one of the healthier. It costs a little more. You can get this at Trader Joe's. Check it out, Manuka honey, and it's good. You want to get as much as you can from, and we keep discovering stuff, everybody. We don't know it all. We keep discovering stuff, and it's a great thing. I'm really excited when we find new things. All right, we're almost out of here. Thyme, remember, thyme is a great antibacterial food, along with olive leaf and astragalus. Don't be afraid of those words. Just get out there and do your thing. Find out about it. When you know, things like if I say echinacea, you want to read up about it. Echinacea is it was first used by the Native Americans as a treatment for snake bites. They also used it for colic. They used it for wounds and infections. Echinacea has been used for a variety of infections for hundreds of years. When it comes down to Manuka, and this is the Manuka honey, in New Zealand, we have we've all heard about the benefits of Manuka honey. I think, in especially the last 6 months or so. But do you know that what makes this honey so special that is the native Manuka, that the bees pollinate the Manuka bush, and the product provides antimicrobial properties. Traditionally, Manuka has been and was used to reduce fever, as a sedative. Here you go, Ryan OJ, also as a pain reliever, and to aid urinary conditions. Now, this is really important when it comes to men, especially men, because when our prostate starts to swell, then it puts pressure on the urethra, then causing it to block the stream. So sometimes we have to leak out or dribble out urine because of the swelling. Swelling of what? The bladder. So the urinary and the prostate too, swelling of the prostate. So those things can be problems or not. Sometimes in some guys it's not that. It might be something else, especially like infection. It can be infection of a bladder. Women do the same thing, except they just hold their urine too long. When they're talking, they'll talk to you sometimes, and they're holding the urine, and then eventually they'll go urinate. But then after time, over and over, when you do that, another warning is that you get a urinary or bladder infection. You get a bladder infection. So make sure that when you got to go, excuse me, I'll be right back. No, I'll be right back. I'll be right, get out of there. Don't just say, I just did it. I took one for the team. Other things that remember, thyme and olive leaf. And olive leaf is something that's credited for providing resistance against insects. This is one of those things that you can put on your body called olive leaf. This olive leaf provides a broad spectrum antimicrobial activity. So, when you have insects crawling on you, especially at night or something, you want to put that on your body so that it can help to deter that kind of reaction to your warm skin. Astragalus, do you know anything about astragalus? Well, astragalus was used as an antioxidant to support the immune function. The contemporary research has confirmed that, and this has always been known, that astragalus supports the immune system and as an antioxidant, it protects cells against damage. So this keeps you that young look, you know, that keeps you, protects your cells from being broken down. Okay, I am going to say, I'm going to stop here because, of course, you know, right now I have so much that we can talk about. I have to do at least one recipe, I think, because I didn't get a chance to do that. And since I talked about people with allergies so much, I want to stick to this one. Allergy tea, you can make an allergy tea with chamomile and the marshmallow. Chamomile and marshmallow. Remember, these are herbs, and they perform on 3 roles. And I'm going to go through that. Peppermint and ginger aid digestion and decrease inflammation. I don't want to go too fast here. This is what we're talking about, just in case you're wondering, is that we're talking about allergies. Let me see. So these are just some of the things that in some of the allergy tea, but as a separation here, using the herbs that balance the immune system, decrease the inflammation, and soothe digestion, you'll probably not see the effects of these herbs immediately. And that's the thing about using herbs, is that a lot of times, if you haven't been using them, you use them to be proactive, little by little, right? And then as you use these herbs to be proactive, you notice you will get a better effect out of them. But it's not like, that's the thing about medication. Some of the medication you can use, and then in a few minutes, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, you'll feel a difference. And a lot of them are like that, but a lot of them aren't. The allergy tea recipe: 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon each of the echinacea root and the marshmallow root, 1 teaspoon of the chamomile flowers, 1 teaspoon of peppermint leaf, and 1 teaspoon of ginger root, one of our best antispasmodics. What you do is you combine water and echinacea and marshmallow roots in a saucepan, and you simmer it for 5 minutes. You turn off the heat and add remaining ingredients. You let it steep. That means you cover it with the top for about 15 minutes. Then you strain off the herbs. And for a 50-pound child, you give 1 to 2 cups daily. These herbs can also be used as tinctures. So you can take them and you can drop them in your mouth as you go throughout the day, or you can just take it in a small cup and you can sip it throughout, or take a thermos and use it. All right, everybody, I want to keep going, but we got to stop here. We just did it a little bit over, so I want to go ahead and Kara, come on up. I wanted before we want to, both of us want to wish you a very happy holiday. And Kara, why don't you get the some closing remarks, and then I'll close it out.
Absolutely. I'm always thankful and grateful for everyone that joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Just always remember that in the Mind of Nature, our mission is to bring awareness, to listen to your feedback, and now it's time for you to take action. Again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, anyone that celebrates. Just have a great time with family, and I wish you all the best until next Saturday when we meet. Dr. Zari, back to you.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. Really,
we're gonna get that right, because I know I hit the button and then you hit the button as well. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's all beautiful. Just want to say thank you, everybody, before I get out of here. Rhino, Jay, you hit me up, man. Everybody, just really appreciate you being here. Malia, tell your mom hi for me. Tell Shar hi for me. It's really great to see it. Eileen, it's always great to see you. Mom, thank you for coming here. And Demetrius, thank you very much for being here. And of course, wow, all the great things. Shirley, thank you for being here. We have Renee Johnson. Thank you for being here. It's just so wonderful that you all were here and got involved. Juanita Rendon is here. Oh, thank you so very much, Juanita. Yes, I will definitely keep on going. And thanks to people like you, that it all makes sense. It's coming together, and people, let's spread the news, everybody. Now, I think during the holiday, there's going to be a lot of food, no doubt, right? Carolyn, you still playing with you still having fun? I see.
I am. I just the layout, but you can go ahead. I'm sorry. This is the layout.
No. I'm not complaining. It's all right. So everybody, thank you so much. Juanita Rendon, thank you. Juanita Nita, thank you very, very much. Okay, and I want to just give a little extra thank you to Yolanda Rogers. This woman, because of her, she shared so many of our videos, and so many people are now being more concerned with their health because she's taking time to spread that news. I mean, many. I mean, she spread so many to, I'm sure in the hundreds, to many people. And because of her, we are getting more attention and really appreciate it. Ron OJ, prayers up, brother, because Ron OJ is dealing with a lot of health issues. I love this brother. He's one of the coldest DJs in Detroit, Michigan, and he's working on it. Thank you very much for everybody having the power, I love your Christmas bowl, Carolyn. This is Yolanda. Oh, you already got it. Perfect. You all are on it. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. And we will look forward to seeing you next Saturday at 8 a.m. We don't stop because that's the way we do it. Carolyn?
Absolutely. 8 a.m. PST. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. See you then.